Good afternoon from Pigeon Forge, Tennessee. It's Ryan, and on today's adventure, we're going to be checking out the Pigeon Forge Fall Rod Run, as I'll be walking around with you, checking out a number of different cars. I'm just going to see if we can find some really neat cars. And I will tell you, I am not a super duper car enthusiast. I'm not the most knowledgeable car person out there as far as, oh, this is a 1967 yada yada yada, but I'm just gonna walk around with you guys and see if I can find something that catches my attention. But Brie is home with the kids doing some school, so I figured I'd come out here, walk around and see if I can find some interesting stuff to show you guys here at Pigeon Forge today. We could go into this area, which has a number of different vendors and some show cars for $20. Let's go check out some of the ones that are getting judged that potentially could win a prize. My teenage daughters have taken a liking to the Ford Mustang. They're gonna be a little sad when I tell them that there were a bunch of Ford Mustangs here at the Pigeon Forge Rod Run. I'm already seeing license plates from all over, from Ohio, Maryland. I see a car that my dad and uncle would love, which would be this old school Chevrolet with surfboards on top, giving a Jimmy Buffett vibe. I actually can see a little hula girl on the dash. We grew up going to the Florida Keys every summer and would listen to Jimmy Buffett all the way down the Keys. So I think my dad and uncle would really appreciate this car. As I mentioned, my daughters have become very fond of the Ford Mustang. I feel like I would be a little too cramped in a vehicle of this size. However, I think I would enjoy this 1966 Ford Bronco, as I'd have a little bit more room. And if I had Micah with me, I don't think Micah could fit in that one, but it's a fun little matching kind of Power Wheels vehicle. But yeah, a lot more headroom and legroom for me in a Ford Bronco over the Ford Mustang. You would definitely stick out driving down the road in this 1966 bright orange Ford Bronco. So there's a number of cars out in the parking lot between the island and the LeConte Convention Center, which is where I think we should head over towards next. Got a bunch of cars over here, but what caught my attention the most is look at this dog over here. This next car has won a number of awards in the past, and I can see why. This 1937 coupe is a very interesting looking car. They have the door open right now. It would make for a very unique ride around town. And this coupe, which they have themed very well, with a little sign over here saying, "Welcome to our coupe," with little chickens around. It says, "Cooped up in the barnyard, but living under the blood of Jesus." 1937 Ford 3W Coupe. That is definitely one of the most interesting cars that I've seen as we've been walking around here. So the weather is very nice outside, but let's check out what they have inside the LeConte Center. It's like a number of different vendors selling all sorts of different items are promoting their business in here. Freeze-dried candy, guys that put on leaf guards at your house. You got fudge and all sorts of t-shirts and jewelry.
A must-have for this season's fashion.
They even got some different Tupperware.
These are some serious Newpont fiber woven bowls.
So I don't have an issue paying 20 bucks going into the vendor hall here and walking around, but I'm kind of curious to head out to the streets of Pigeon Forge and see what the crowds are like out there right now. As I said before, I'm not really big on car history and all the little fine details of an engine.
What kind of shocks you got on this baby?
I don't know, regular, normal ones. Nothing fancy, not my style.
If my car works, if it gets me from point A to point B, I'm happy. And I'm all about functionality. So if functionally a car does what I want, then I'm thrilled. That's probably why I like the Cybertruck, because it's an electric vehicle that I could actually use and put our bikes in the back of. Even though many people say, oh, the Cybertruck is ugly, I could see where someone could say that. But for me, I love the functionality of it. We have a whole solar panel array at our house, and there's times in the day where I have extra electricity. So the idea of eliminating my gas bill from my truck would be awesome. But now that we've crossed over the bridge, let's head out onto the main parkway, walk around and see what we can spot. So I just peeked into this Crave mini golf, which is actually not very busy at the moment. There's some attractions that actually might not be that busy. The challenge is getting to and from different places during car shows becomes the challenge. Let's work our way down the road towards the Moon Pie store. So we're walking along past the Willowbrook Lodge. They passed an ordinance. My understanding is you can't put a for sale sign up, but it seems like a number of cars just put their phone number on the windshield. And I've seen some different low riders in my day, but I think this one is the lowest, one of the lowest low riders I have ever seen. As the crowds are picking up as it's getting later in the day. Casper themed vehicle here in front of the Moon Pie store. We've definitely hit that point in the day where it is just bumper to bumper crawling along the main parkway here in Pigeon Forge. Well, I gotta record this guy's little car. Look at that. This motorcycle looks like something that you'd find in the Mad Max movies. I can see some state troopers across the street. Kudos to our law enforcement who have their hands full during these car events with so many potential accidents and things that they need to respond to. And these have to be the coolest scooters I've ever seen. Literally, the coolest. How fast do these things go?
I would say about 15, 20.
Yeah, the engine doesn't freeze up on you?
No.
Okay. I found Elvis! Thank you very much. Have a good night. You just never know what you'll spot here at the Rod Run in Pigeon Forge. Aside from getting some exhaust kicked my way every once in a while by some of these giant vehicles, it's actually fantastic weather right now, and it's kind of neat as I'm walking by to see little nuances of things along the main strip in Pigeon Forge that often just driving by I would perhaps not even notice. So I'm finding all these little things like, oh look, that place has this little ice cream thing. These people found a little bit of shade on this side of the road as we're coming up to the old mill. You can see some other people peeking in the window of Gamers Link as it's closed right now, but it's little stores like that that I've actually never been in. Kind of interesting to walk by and see at a little slower pace. Let's go walk over by the old mill and see how crowded it is right now. Looks like Breakers is busy towing somebody right now. Kind of different to not see the arch on top of the old mill bridge here that is normally obstructing this beautiful view of the mill and the mountains in the background. Got all sorts of ducks swimming. Oh, the video can't convey just how nice the weather is right now. Even though it's crowded in Pigeon Forge, it's still never a bad day to be here, in my opinion. So it's a little after 5 on Friday. Let's go see how long the wait time would be here at the old mill. They said it would be about an hour for a table of 4 at the moment. Again, here on a Friday during the Rod Run around 5 o'clock. So as I said before, it seems like some of the attractions are not that busy, but there are just lots of people on the road and walking around the street and eating. So just plan accordingly. It is still so weird to have nothing on this bridge. I'm so used to always having this arch over here. It's kind of nice for taking good photo and video. The arch often gets in the way. So from the Old Mill District, let me walk down the street a little bit further before I cross the street and head back to my car. Like I said before, the police will definitely be busy throughout the day. In the evening, you can't quite tell if it's a motorcycle or a truck, or I don't know what I'm looking at right now. Now that we've walked to the Dollywood yellow house, I think what I'm gonna do is cross the street here and walk back towards the island. I would definitely be a little nervous if I had kids trying to cross the street with them, with all the golf carts and cars and different elements every direction. You may have heard of UPS, USPS, and over here is a Fed Up truck along with a number of other cars. So let's walk down the road, see if we can find anything else pretty interesting. It'll be a tight fit on the sidewalk at times. Apparently, if you're heavy set and your name is William, you're not welcome inside the Baskin Robbins here. I did ask if they knew what is going in next door where there was a Long John Silver's, and they said they do not know at this point in time, but I don't think it's big enough for Costco, but I don't know, maybe another Chick-fil-A. I'll take another Chick-fil-A, sure, why not? And in this same parking lot is probably one of the most unique tow trucks that I've ever seen. Looks like the state trooper got someone else with a ticket, so they are definitely going to be very busy tonight and tomorrow. Even Domino's deliveries are not exempt from the law. I hope wherever he just made a delivery, he left him a really good tip to pay the ticket. Check out the pipes on this car over here. I would think it would be fair to say the neighbors know when you pull home with this car. Lots of people just checking out their cars, sitting up on their patio here, looking out onto the street. As we pass by Huck Finn's Catfish, actually, I've never been there. I think Brie took the kids there with my mother-in-law, but I've never been to Huck Finn's. A lot of people say they really enjoy going there to get some catfish. So we'll have to go back there and try it someday soon. I mentioned that one lowrider before, but this one is pretty low as well. Actually never eaten at JT Hannah's Kitchen as well, and I feel like some people have said they really like it and some people have said they didn't really care for it, so I'll have to try it out. I gotta work across the street back over towards Crave Mini Golf where we started. Wait! There's definitely not a shortage of all sorts of interesting golf carts, scooters, and vehicles everywhere around here. There's just golf carts everywhere. Some golf carts on the sidewalk, some golf carts on the road. As I mentioned before, it's definitely pretty tight on the sidewalk, and it's a place you might be a little careful with little ones with so many different vehicles in every direction. So there's a little look at the main parkway here in Pigeon Forge. But let's head behind Crave Mini Golf and cross this bridge, which I'm really glad that they added, which makes it much easier to get to the main parkway over to the island or vice versa. Now that we're over by the LeConte Center, it is a lot more quiet as it looks like they've closed down for the day and will reopen tomorrow. They even have additional law enforcement from other counties helping out. So I've made it back to the car, and I'm going to attempt to drive into Gatlinburg as I'm heading over to Anakeesta. So I parked at Herbert Holt Park, and I'm walking into downtown, and there were a number of cars in Pigeon Forge, but once I got to the spur, the road between Gatlinburg and Pigeon Forge, it died down, and it doesn't look like there are that many cars backed up trying to get into downtown at the moment. Looks like they have some fall decorations out at Hillbilly Golf, and the line is not that bad. That's the end of the line here. There are definitely some people that are here for the Rod Run in Gatlinburg, as I'm seeing them drive up and down the street, but the traffic is not backed up at this point. Pizza Rio across the street is looking so nice. I'm excited to try this out later this month. So you can see there's no backed up traffic getting into downtown at the moment. So here's a look at traffic in downtown Gatlinburg on this Friday night of Rod Run. And as I said earlier, the weather is fantastic right now as the sun is setting here in Gatlinburg, Tennessee. But that's going to wrap up today's video, checking out the Pigeon Forge Fall Rod Run. I'd love to hear from you in the comments. What was one of your favorite vehicles down below, or share any thoughts of the Rod Run. If you've enjoyed this video, hit that thumbs up button. And if you're new to our channel, make sure you're subscribed. I'm about to head over to Anakeesta and check out all of their fall decorations. I'll be uploading that video next. If you made it this far, we thank God for you. Until next time, we'll see you on the next adventure.